Picture this. Miles from pavement, deep in wild terrain, you tap the accelerator. No engine roar, just pure, silent power carrying you where most cars wouldn't dare. The only soundtrack is the crunch of tires over gravel and the occasional call of a bird in the distance. It's strange, it's eerie, and it's thrilling. This is the promise of the Jeep Recon EV, Jeep's bold, all-electric shot at the future of off-roading, rugged looks, serious trail capability. But under the skin? But here's the question Jeep fans and skeptics can't stop asking. Can an electric Jeep really replace the soul, sound, and swagger of the classic gas-powered icon? Let's find out. A first look, the Jeep Recon EV isn't trying to be subtle. Set to debut as a 2026 model in late 2025, it blends the unmistakable DNA of the Wrangler with the tech-forward edge of a modern EV. At first glance, it's all sharp lines and squared-off panels, boxy in the best possible way, because boxy says capable. The stance? Wide, aggressive, with the kind of ground clearance that makes you want to aim for the biggest rock on the trail just to see if you can conquer it. Up front, you still get Jeep's signature 7-slot grille. But here's the twist. It's closed off for better aerodynamics, illuminated for modern flair, and free of the airflow needs of a gas engine. The LED headlights are slim, fierce, and ready to cut through dust, snow, or fog. From the side, the Recon looks born for adventure. The removable doors and power-folding rooftop carry over from the Wrangler, so you can strip it down to the bare essentials on a sunny day. There's an upright windshield, chunky fenders, and a rear-mounted spare tire, because trail confidence means knowing you can fix what the wild throws at you. Beneath, skid plates and underbody armor protect that massive battery pack from the abuse only an off-roader can deliver. Jeep's engineers didn't forget that electric or not, a trail-rated badge has to mean something. Trail-rated for real. If you've been around Jeep people long enough, you know trail-rated isn't just a shiny badge slapped on the side for bragging rights. It's a rite of passage. Every Jeep that earns it has survived a gauntlet of punishing tests in 5 unforgiving categories: traction, water fording, maneuverability, articulation, and ground clearance. In the all-electric Jeep Recon EV, it's not just wearing that badge, it's gunning for legend status. The Moab trim, in particular, is a love letter to Jeep's wild-at-heart heritage. We're talking e-locker differentials on both axles, snapping into action the moment you need them, delivering maximum grip when the trail turns ugly. A heavy-duty suspension that doesn't flinch at crawling over jagged rock, climbing loose shale, or dropping off ledges that would make lesser SUVs weep. All-terrain tires engineered to claw through mud, crunch across snow, and dig deep into desert sand without losing stride. And yes, this EV will dive headfirst into water crossings up to 30 inches deep, because the motors and batteries are sealed like a submarine's hull. When it comes to choices, Jeep's aiming to please trims like Trail, Overland, Rubicon, and Moab, each starting strong and stacking on the upgrades until you've got the ultimate electric overlander. Color options? They're pure adventure mood, deep forest green for blending in, rugged black for stealth, and fur red accents for making a statement that you're here to conquer, not just cruise. This isn't just a new chapter in Jeep's story, it's a whole new book, and the Recon EV is ready to write it in dirt, mud, and tire tracks, the electric heart. Now let's talk about what makes the Recon unlike any Jeep before it. A machine that doesn't just rewrite the off-road rulebook, it shreds it. Forget the classic V6 rumble or the V8 growl you've come to expect from a Jeep. In their place, a pair of silent assassins, 2 electric motors, one up front and one at the rear, working together to deliver all-wheel drive and a flood of instant torque the moment you touch the pedal. If whispers from the industry are true, the top-spec Recon could unleash up to 600 horsepower and a staggering 800 lb-ft of torque. Read that again, 800 lb-5. That's more pulling power than most heavy-duty diesel trucks, except here it arrives without a single gear change, without waiting for revs to build. Just raw, neck-snapping acceleration on demand. How quick? Try 0-60 miles per hour in under 4 seconds in the right trim. For an off-road SUV tipping the scales at well over 2 tons, that's absurd, in the best possible way. Powering this electric beast is a 100.5 kWh battery, likely the same tech you'll see in the upcoming Wagoneer SEV, giving it a projected range of 300 to 400 miles, depending on trim and driving conditions. Sure, hammer it through mud, rocks, and sand, and you'll see the range drop. But even then, the numbers are remarkable for something this rugged. And when it comes time to recharge, Jeep isn't making you wait around. Home Level 2 charging tops it up overnight. DC fast charging will get you from 20–80% in roughly 30 minutes. And rumors suggest an 800-volt architecture is in the works for lightning-fast top-ups that could make pit stops feel more like coffee breaks than roadblocks. In other words, this isn't just a Jeep. It's the future of off-road performance, and it's coming in fast. Off-road prowess, can it out-Wrangler the Wrangler? Here's where the legend meets its challenger. The Jeep Wrangler has ruled the off-road world for decades, a yardstick every other 4x4 gets measured against. But now the Jeep Recon EV is stepping into the arena, and it's not here to play nice. This isn't just another SUV, it's an electric predator built to take on the toughest trails. Early prototypes have already been spotted tearing through Moab's infamous rock gardens, a proving ground where lesser machines break axles and egos. And here's the surprise. The Recon's electric heart gives it superpowers gas engines can't touch. Instant torque at 0 RPM means no lurching, no stalling, no fiddling with gears. Just seamless, unstoppable crawling up boulders that would make a Wrangler sweat. The heavy battery pack sits low, dropping the center of gravity and giving the Recon the kind of stability that turns steep climbs and sketchy side slopes into casual strolls. Then there's torque vectoring, a high-tech trick that feeds the perfect amount of power to each wheel individually. Slippery rock, loose gravel, muddy rut? The Recon doesn't spin helplessly, it grips like it's reading the terrain's mind. And here's a twist Jeep purists might not admit out loud, but will secretly love. Electric motors don't breathe air, which means they can't drown. Forget worrying about air intakes when you're crossing a stream. This thing can wade through without a second thought. The result is an off-road machine that's not just keeping up with the Wrangler's legacy, but threatening to rewrite it. If Jeep pulls this off, the Recon won't just be the first electric Jeep. It could become the new benchmark, the vehicle everyone else has to beat. Because in the silent, relentless crawl of the Recon, there's a whisper of the future. A world where off-road dominance doesn't come with the smell of gasoline, but with the quiet hum of raw electric power. Inside, comfort meets capability. Step inside the Recon, and you realize this isn't just a stripped-down trail tool. It's a premium space built for long hauls. Seats, supportive, available in leather, heated and ventilated. Materials? Durable but soft touch, with sustainable options like recycled fabrics. The dashboard is dominated by a large touchscreen running Jeep's Uconnect 5 system, complete with wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and over-the-air updates. Off-road pages display real-time pitch, roll, steering angle, and power distribution. For entertainment, you can spec a premium audio system and even Amazon Fire TV integration for passengers. Cargo? Around 30 cubic feet behind the second row, expandable to over 60 with the seats folded. Enough for camping gear, recovery equipment, and a week's worth of supplies. The cost of admission? Adventure doesn't come cheap. Early estimates put the Recon EV starting around $60,000, with top trims climbing toward $80,000. That's competitive with rivals like the Rivian R1S, but pricier than a base Wrangler. Federal EV tax credits could soften the blow if it qualifies. The trade-offs. Here's where we get brutally honest. Because sugarcoating won't help you when you're halfway up a rocky trail or miles deep in the wilderness. The Jeep Recon EV comes with some undeniable wins. First, instant torque, the kind that makes even steep, uneven climbs feel like a casual stroll. No lag, no hesitation, just raw electric power at your command. Add to that the zero tailpipe emissions, and suddenly those breathtaking views come without the guilt of polluting them. Then there's the money factor. Electricity almost always beats gas on cost, and you can forget about oil changes entirely. The ride itself is a different experience too. Whisper quiet, letting you hear every rustle in the trees, every stream you cross, or even your passengers' nervous laughter when the trail gets dicey. And because the battery's weight sits low, you get a lower center of gravity, meaning more stability when the terrain turns unpredictable. But let's not pretend it's all perfect. Range anxiety is real. And in an EV, it's even more nerve-wracking when you're far from the nearest charging station. Charging itself takes time. There's no quick 5-minute top-off like with a gas pump. Cold weather? That's a silent range killer, slashing up to 30% off your distance before you've even started. And if towing is your thing, prepare for possible disappointment. EVs often trail their gas-powered cousins in sheer pulling muscle. Then there's the purist problem: no engine rumble. For some, that deep mechanical growl is the soul of off-roading, and the EV's silence feels sterile. So who's the Recon really for? If you're a weekend warrior who charges at home and keeps adventures within range, it's a brilliant, future-ready choice. Capable, eco-friendly, and loaded with modern appeal. But if your idea of fun involves crossing continents with nothing but a map, a cooler, and a dream, gas still wins on convenience and flexibility. The truth? The Recon EV isn't trying to replace every off-roader. It's here to redefine what adventure feels like. Cleaner, quieter, and still plenty wild. In conclusion, the Jeep Recon EV isn't just another SUV. It's a bold statement about where off-road adventure is headed. From the early details, the Recon isn't aiming to replace the Wrangler. It's carving out its own place in history. This is a new chapter where silence isn't weakness. It's stealth, precision, and control. Imagine crawling up a boulder-strewn pass with only the wind in your ears, knowing you've got 800 lb of instant torque at your command. No lag, no drama, just raw electric force harnessed for the trail. If Jeep delivers on its promises, the Recon EV could be the bridge between heritage and innovation, proving that the future of off-roading can be just as wild, rugged, and thrilling, only without the gas. If you like this video, hit the bell, leave a comment, and thanks so much for watching.